Going A on Inferno can be very intimidating at times. Not only do you need quite a bit of map control, the crossfires you have to deal with once you actually get to site can be even more challenging. So today, we're going to learn how to sprinkle in a little extra utility into your site takes to break those crossfires and get your teammates onto site ready to win. Before we dive straight in, I want to thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. So, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins. All you have to do is select your old skins that you don't want anymore and then pick out some fresh ones to trade for. It's as easy as that. And right now you could get a free $5 if you use code TACTICS on the site. And finally, you could get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using my code. So thanks again to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Links in the description. Before we're able to actually execute onto the A site, we're going to need quite a bit of map control. So let's go ahead and start with apartments. Being able to have a teammate contest site and pit from balcony is critical for almost every site take. If you're the apps lurker on your team, you should be throwing a Molotov through this window every single round by simply breaking the glass and doing a run jump throw with a Molotov towards the bottom of these stairs, just like this. It's going to bank off that door and deny any sort of CT aggression into apps, even covering all the way to this corner. Along with that molly, I like to make a flash off of this wall just in case any of the CTs get aggressive mid, and then I'll throw a nice little HE grenade down into boiler to punish anyone hanging out down in that area. After that, it's up to you to clear apps at your own pace and get into position for the late round. That's half the battle before the site hit. Now let's go ahead and talk about brackets control. For this first scenario, we're going to assume that the end goal is a basic lane push, as that's the most common setup for pugs. As self-explanatory as it is, arch side needs to be smoked off first. You can easily just wing it, but for a more stylish giant smoke that goes down all the way from the balcony, you can get stuck into this corner, aim where the fence post intersects with the gutter, and do a simple left-click throw. And as you can see, the smoke spills all the way down to the ground and covers both sides. After that, it's time to peek towards patio. One of my favorite flashes for this is to have one of my banana players go along this half wall and do a jump throw with a flash at this right arrow. That's not going to blind anyone except the enemy, where you can peek towards patio or towards arch. If you'd rather not deal with patio at all, you can throw this molly to completely flush out both positions at once. Although this is extremely precise, it is a pixel perfect lineup that is very easy to miss. I recommend practicing this in your own server before ever trying this in game. If you'd rather just simply molly porch, you can aim up to the right of this arch and do a nice little run throw. That should bank off the wall and fully engulf this entire region and the pillar to the left. Now, once you have control of brackets, it's time for the site hit. The first and most obvious smoke you want to throw is the moto smoke. And all you're going to do is get lined up right here with this crack, and you're going to position your crosshair where it would intersect with the middle of this portion of the gutter and the bottom right of this roof and do a simple left click throw. That's going to bounce off the right side here and completely smoke off moto. Next, your apps player should get stuck into this corner right here and do a simple left click throw at the bottom of this brick to where it's going to bounce all the way out here and land on top of the truck. This should spread out to allow your apps player to peek out towards pit and towards balcony without being exposed to sight. Once they've cleared these positions, they're going to be able to drop straight down behind this smoke into pit without ever exposing to the site player. Along with that balcony lurk, it's also a good idea to break this crossfire right here. This is one of the most dangerous areas to clear because of how strong it is. Now, the best way to do this is to go right here into the door frame of boiler and do a left click throw with the smoke at the top right of this shutter. That's going to end up landing right here in front of truck. We generally call this the truck smoke. And as you can see here, this is going to completely isolate the pit player, allowing you to peek up onto site just like this. To help out your apps player, I recommend having someone throw a molly right over the smoke to completely burn out the big pit position. Once you've gotten those initial smokes and that molly thrown, now it's time for some good supportive flashes to get your teammates onto site. The first one, which is my favorite, is where you're going to go in the middle of boiler here and you're going to do a run jump throw at this position along the wall to completely blind everyone on site without blinding your teammates as they're hugging this left wall on their way up to peak. If timed right, they're going to have some pretty easy fights. Now, another extremely powerful flash that a lot of pros will throw is they're going to clear out this area of balcony here, and once they're in this position where they can see this red house, they're going to end up doing a simple left click with a flash towards the top of this window. It's going to bank off the balcony here, and not only is it going to blind the very bottom and top at the exact same time while not blinding your teammates, it's also going to destroy most of the common angles on site, as you can see right here. While it's a bit risky, this flash can pretty much do it all. For a more forgiving and less risky alternative, you can do a run throw over the top of the roof here to help your apps player peek out and take a fight onto site. This is a super easy one for him to peek off of, and boom, he's got a pretty easy fight onto site. So now we've covered the basics of a lane push by taking apps and brackets control early, and then using some nifty utility to break up those pesky crossfires and eventually take the site. So now let's change it up and talk about doing an arch wrap. It's essentially the reverse of what we've just talked about. I still recommend having an apps player take control early round to pull off a similar late round set. However, the rest of the pack is going to be wrapping all the way around. So first, you're going to need to simply smoke off the right side of brackets. You can do this however you choose, it's pretty hard to miss. I also recommend mollying off the top of patio by doing a run throw at the top right of this wall, just like you can see here. At the same time, one player needs to smoke off arch by doing a simple left and right click throw at this position along the lamp. As you can see, this is a pretty fast landing arch smoke that's going to land right here, completely engulfing the entire tunnel. Another player is going to throw the library smoke by going into this corner and aiming at the top left of this yellow umbrella. With a simple jump throw, that's going to land all the way inside a library to completely smoke it off. It takes some pretty wicked bounces and may look like it's deep, but this is going to be the perfect smoke. You can pair that with the same arrow flash as before, and you've got a very simple yet effective arch wrap. Your teammates can peek off that flash and even molly cubby for good measure. Just as they're making their way around, that's the perfect timing for your apps player to throw the lurk smoke and begin clearing angles to assist with the take. It may also be a decent idea to just omit the smoke altogether and simply peek sight at the same time as your wrap. Either way, these are some of the most effective pieces of utility to use when taking the A site. I hope this helps you out in your next match and gets you a few extra rounds. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments below or click that Skins Monkey link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one.